Hey guys, my name is Matsumiyo, and welcome to your episode of Monday Mailbox on Tuesday. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming-related questions, and then I'll give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way real quick, if you'd like to submit your own question that can be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, or by sending me a Facebook or Twitter message. The first question for the day is, realistically, how much longer do you see Siege lasting? I feel like the game has been dying faster and faster. I can't really see it lasting past year 6. Hope I'm wrong, though. Okay, I have to ask because maybe I'm just out of the loop, but where is all of this negativity coming from? The amount of questions and statements that I got for Mailbox this week that surrounded this idea that Siege is not going to last for another year was kind of staggering. Is this coming from the community itself, content creators? Is this some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy where people are just deeming Siege is no longer going to be relevant in a couple of months? Like, I don't know where this is coming from. Now, admittedly, a couple of seasons ago, things were not looking all that great. A lot of people were not happy with the state of Rainbow Six Siege. The utility meta wasn't all that satisfying, but I feel like with this last season and what we've seen for year 6, the game has been in a better place than it's ever been, at least for like a year or more. I'm having more fun in Rainbow Six Siege with this last season than I have in a very, very long time. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm some sort of fortune teller and I know what's gonna happen in the next year. Maybe this is the feeling of the community and things are going to wither away and it's no longer going to be relevant anymore, but I just don't think that's going to be the case. Yes, there were some things about the year 6 announcement that was disappointing. The fact that we're not going to be getting any new map at all was a sour spot. I was really holding on to hope that we'd be getting at least one. The fact that they're reworking Favela of all maps is fine, but they're not going to make it ranked competitive. They're doing what they did with House 2.0. I think it's fine to rework old casual maps, but make it so that your entire player base can enjoy that content. By making the statement that Favela is still, even after the rework, only going to be a casual map, that basically is admitting to your player base that not only do you not want to go above and beyond and try to make it viable in a ranked setting, but also that it's still going to have loads of issues and not be competitive. Like, it's going to have all of these balancing problems. That just seems like a waste of resources to me. And so, yeah, in that sense, that is something that was disappointing about this year 6 announcements. But even with those minor complaints here and there, I still don't see how this is going to be leading to the end of Rainbow Six Siege. And so maybe I'm just out of touch. Maybe I don't see the undercurrent of dissatisfied players, and this is going to be inevitable. But I love the fact that they're going to be reworking problematic operators like Malusi, Goyo. They're going to be finally making some changes to Mira. We're going to be getting the reputation system, the new replay system. And while yes, that may not be as flashy as something like a new operator or a brand new map, that is still content, especially that reputation system to try and curb a lot of that toxicity that happens in Siege. I think that's going to be amazing for the longevity of the game. And so let me know what you guys think on this topic. Am I just completely wrong? Is everyone just not happy with the state of Rainbow Six Siege? Or is no one having fun? Do you think that this is a little overblown? Give me your guys' thoughts down below. The next question comes from Tom, and it is, what do you think will come of Twitch with the introduction of Flores? Will she need a buff such as the ability to jump? Well, I definitely would be completely in favor of Twitch's drone finally gaining the ability to jump. I think it's been a long time coming, but I'm really curious to see how Ubisoft is going to be balancing between Twitch and Flores, because you're right, he brings so much more in the utility and information gathering sense than Twitch does, and they kind of fulfill the same role. You could even argue that Flores does the job even better. Twitch's drones, while you can take out select gadgets around the map stealthily, it can be really good at clearing out like an Ella or a Goo from Legion without them knowing that it was there. A lot of times, as soon as you use or you shock one of those gadgets, anyone that's in the vicinity is going to know exactly where that Twitch is and take it out. And so more often than not, you're only able to take out maybe 1 or 2 gadgets with that drone. And so when you compare that to Flores, who can take out even hardier targets like a deployable shield build or a Maestro camera, it seems like a bit of a no-brainer on which one you would want to bring if that is your sole job, if you're trying to take out that utility. Flores just seems like the better choice in that respect. Now, we have to remember that we can't just judge an operator by their gadget. Their primary weapon is going to come into play, and many people would argue that Twitch has one of the strongest weapons in the game. In the right hands, that thing is a monster, and I think many people are not going to be as thrilled with the ones that are available for Flores. And so, while he might have a better gadget, at least when it comes to utility, he's got way more information that he can bring to his team, his weapons are not going to be nearly as strong. And so maybe that's one way that Ubisoft is trying to balance or make you choose between these characters. Do you want to bring someone that has more utility? Well, then bring Flores. If you want someone that's got a really, really strong weapon, then Twitch might be more up your alley. One thing that is worth noting is that things may actually balance themselves out when they introduce the ability for offense to be able to switch their character in the preparation phase. Now, I don't know when this is going through, but we now have confirmation that when that finally goes through, that Twitch is going to have access to at least one normal drone and then her 2 shock drones. That might be all that is required to finally balance her out. 3 drones is going to be very strong, especially if you can put them in the right spots. And so maybe in the long run, that was all that was required. The next question comes from Danny on PC, and it is, what do you want to see from Battlefield 6? I know this is going to sound pretty wild, but I just want Battlefield 6 to be a good game. I know it's crazy, but I want them to actually deliver a product that is good at launch, that has plenty of content, and that is enjoyable to play. In all seriousness, though, I want Battlefield 6 to be set in a modern setting. I think that that allows for a wider variety of gameplay, from the different vehicles to the weapons and the customization. Speaking of customization, I'm hopeful that it's going to be at least comparable to something like Battlefield 4, but I would be completely fine if they mirrored Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I think that COD did a fantastic job with that system in allowing players the flexibility and the options to really tailor it to what they're looking for in a particular weapon. And then finally, if they want to go big, and it sounds like that's the direction that they're going, 100-player servers, 128-player servers. If you do that, that's fine, but just make sure the netcode doesn't suffer because of that. If we get another situation like we did with like Battlefield 4 at launch, where everything is laggy and the performance sucks because they're like, hey, we got to go bigger, that means we only get 20 hertz servers and nothing better than that, that is going to be a huge disappointment. I would rather have 60 hertz, a better smooth performance in the long run with 60 players than I would if they doubled that player count and we all suffered because everyone's getting, shot around corners and stuff like that. Like, that is something that I want to avoid. Overall, though, those would be the big points that I'm looking for in the next Battlefield. I don't really care too much about the setting in the grand scheme of things, because at the end of the day, as long as it's good, as long as it's fun, that's all that really matters, and I think they could make it really good in any setting if they set their mind to it. But I do think that modern, with loads of customization, is what the player base and really what I'm hoping for the most when it comes to this next title. The next question is, I kind of don't understand the exclusivity of sights. Why can't all operators have access to all of the 1x optics on all of their weapons, and why all of offense can't have access to 1.5x optics? Yeah, I really don't understand why Ubisoft has this stance. I think that basically every weapon in this game should have all of the 1x optics available. If someone likes the holo, let them use a holo on every single one of their weapons. If they like the reflex, exact same thing. If they like some of those new weird sights that they added that actually no one uses, let them use it. I don't know why certain weapons in this game, they don't have all of these options. Now, considering the 1.5 for everyone on offense, I think that really just comes down to balance. I know this might sound silly, but I really do believe that Ubisoft considers some of the sights in this game to be better than others. And I think the 1.5 is one of them. For me personally, I think it's probably one of the best sights in the game, especially when you're playing on defense, but even for a lot of the offensive weapons as well, it is fantastic. It's that perfect amount of magnification that allows you to see a little further away so that you can spot those targets out in a distance, but at the same time, it's not too much of magnification, so you can still do really well up close. It's kind of best of both worlds. It's one of the reasons why I was very surprised when they made this announcement that they actually did add a site like this into the game. I always thought that you're gonna have to weigh the pros and cons of deciding between a 1x optic or something like the ACOG, but they added it into the game, as we all know. And so I think that's what it comes down to for some of these weapons. I do think that Ubisoft does prioritize and thinks that some of these optics are better than others, and so I think that's what's happening here. In general though, especially for those 1x optics, I think it's a bit silly that they don't give their player base all of the options. I don't know why they've taken that stance, and I think that is something that they should change. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's episode of Monday Mailbox. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about what we discussed in today's video. Do you think that Rainbow Six Siege is in a rough spot right now? Do you think that things are spiraling down? Do you actually like the direction that Ubisoft is going with the game? Let me know what you guys think down below. As always, if you would like to submit your own question for an upcoming episode, you can also leave a comment or by sending me a Facebook or Twitter message. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.